It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Welcome to another, is it morning? Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV. My name is Marco Kwakozi. This is a show that comes to you every Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at exactly 12 hours. Sincere apologies. We could not make it yesterday due to technical challenges that we did. Is it a technical challenge? No, we did have a funeral that we were attending to yesterday, and we unfortunately could not go on with the program. But we are back, and I'm not alone in the studio as usual. I do have a colleague of mine, Nelly. It's a beautiful afternoon. Welcome.
Oh yes, such a beautiful afternoon. Thank you so much, Makokwa.
Sure.
It's absolutely exciting to be back. To be back today. We didn't have our show yesterday.
It looks like forever, yeah?
Yeah, it feels like a Monday today.
Yeah.
It feels like a Monday because we're always ready to, take away the Monday blues.
Yeah.
For our guests, but I guess we're taking away Tuesday blues.
We treat Tuesday like a Monday today.
Yes. Sure. Let's treat it like a Monday today.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have an exciting show for you today. Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to being with you throughout the whole lunchtime. It's lunchtime.
Sure.
Yes, it's lunchtime, and we actually have a pretty exciting program today.
Yeah, the show is fully packed, and do make sure you keep it on Camnet because one lucky viewer will be going away with something very interesting.
Oh yes, yes, very interesting. Yes, in line with lunch, food.
Sure.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure you have good foods wherever you are. So please stay tuned. We'll tell you in a moment what you need to do to be the lucky winner of the special prize that we have for you a little later on. But I think we're going to start as usual with our first segment, which is the emerging stories.
Yeah, so we have quite a number of interesting emerging stories that we will be giving to you in a short while. But remember that you can catch us live on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 106 on Topstar, and on GoTV we are on channel 25. We are also live on our Facebook account, which is Camnet TV. So if you are watching us via Facebook, make sure you like that particular page and leave your comments on this particular program so that you could be in line to be one of those that are going to be lucky this afternoon to win something very special that we are going to be telling you not so long from now. We are also live on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you follow the proceedings keenly on this beautiful program. But let's first start with the emerging stories. Nelly, what do we have?
Yes, let's get into it. We have a story from the Cotton Board of Zambia. They've received over 2,000 submissions from various stakeholders suggesting on issues they wish to be included in the revised act. Board Chief Executive Officer Sunduzwayo Banda says the response from stakeholders is overwhelming and an indication of the potential in the sector. Mr. Banda has explained that the board opened various platforms for interested members of the public to make their submissions. He says the submissions are diverse, adding that the board will ensure all the submissions are taken on board. In June this year, Cabinet approved in principle to introduce a bill in Parliament to amend the Cotton Act of 2005 in order to enhance the regulation of the cotton industry in the country. The move was made to effectively broaden the mandate of the Cotton Board of Zambia, CBZ, and address the existing gaps in the current law. The bill also seeks to introduce sufficient provisions for the regulation of the entire cotton value chain, in line with the international best practices.
You'll be amazed that we can't all think the same. So we have diverse views, divergent views, different submissions. People want price to be negotiated before they plant. Others want an inclusion in the contract that there should be a price. Others want a negotiation forum where we can discuss from input through to production until the end. Others want an improvement on productivity, extension provision. Others are asking the government to be announcing price. So we are ranging from price announcement through improvement. Others want a change in seed, a change in input quality, that is the chemicals and so on. So we have a wide range of submissions. You'll be amazed to note that written, we have about 285. E-submissions on SMS, because we opened a line which people are using to send the SMSs, more than 2,000. Our phone is full. So we've had a very overwhelming response. I'm hoping that this act is going to be an all-inclusive act. We will respect the submissions of the people, submissions of our business partners and other stakeholders around the country. Otherwise, so far so good.
You're still watching Lunchtime Cafe. We're coming to you live on DSTV, Topstar, and GoTV. And you can also watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. We're still on our Emerging Stories segment, and let's get into another story. Makoko?
Before we get into the next story, Nelly, I have Peter Eugene from Solwezi. He says he cannot wait to win.
Oh!
That special prize that we are giving out today.
I like that, Peter. I like that. Stay good, stay good. You could be the lucky winner.
Lydia Nguni Mapushi says, good morning, good afternoon, Kozi and Nelly. Good to see you. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Really do appreciate it.
That.
Lydia Nguni Mapushi is somebody that has what can I say? She's my grandma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have blessings from grandma today.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope she stays with us through the whole show.
Sure,
maybe she could be the lucky winner.
She does.
She might compete. Peter, because Peter is also in it to win it.
So Joel Mwaya says, watching you from Mpulungu. Thank you very much, Joel. We appreciate the fact that you are watching Camnet TV from Mpulungu, and we do hope that you also could be the lucky winner of what we are giving out this particular afternoon. This is the Lunchtime Cafe, and we are still on the Emerging Stories segment, where we give you stories that are happening right now, we do have interesting stories that are coming up. But for now, let's quickly get into the next story, which says the Center for Environment Justice, CEJ, has launched a project dubbed Strengthening Civil Society Voices of Climate Advocacy in Zambia. Now, CEJ Executive Director Magima Palomwape says the exercise, funded by the United Nations Democracy Fund, covering 5 districts, namely Lusaka, Chirundu, Luangwa, Chongwe, and Rufunsa. Now, Ms. Mwape said the transformative initiative aims to empower civil society organizations in Zambia to play a pivotal role in advocating for climate action and environmental sustainability. Now, speaking in Luangwa after a stakeholders mapping exercise to mark the project launch, Ms. Mwape said CEJ will continue engaging with the local authorities and stakeholders. Now, Ms. Mwape said the success of Zambia's National Adaptation Plan processes and nationally determined contributions implementation in the country hinges on the participation of several stakeholders, including the civil society movement. Now, meanwhile, Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikani said government will support CEJ's expedition to empower civil society organization capacity to champion climate change mitigation and adaptation effectively. Let's have a look at this.
The project is actually focusing on how can we ensure that different stakeholders participate in the implementation, and then also local authorities at district level, because this is not just a process that should be left to government alone. But it requires all stakeholders to be part of the process. And achieving the implementation of the National Adaptation Plan, as well as the National Determined Contributions, it requires local government at district level, the civil society, the community members, the FBOs, almost all sectoral partners are very key.
Luangwa district is one of those that are affected critically by climate change. We have most of the places without rain, and most of the times we get flash floods from outside this region, and people are affected. And when you look at, I think when you are coming along the road D145, you must have seen a lot of bags of charcoal. Yeah, so your coming, I think, will be best. Maybe we have alternatives to energy for the people so that you can protect the environment.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV, and we are on the Imaging Stories segment, and then there is an interesting story that is developing. Nelly, tell us about that particular story.
The Socialist Party. Well, there's something going on right now. The Socialist Party leader Fred Membe is currently being interrogated at the Ibex police station. There's an interrogation going on right now at the Ibex police station.
Sure.
We have Nelson. Nelson is on the ground because he says Mr. Membe reported at Ibex police station at 10 hours this morning. And I think it'll be good to get to Nelson and just get more on the story.
Sure. Let's get to Nelson Zulu, who is on the ground at Ibex Police, just to give us an update on what is happening at that particular police station.
We're here at Ibex Police Station in Lusaka, where opposition Socialist Party leader Dr. Freddy Membe has been summoned before the police in relation to an incident that happened in Serenge during by-elections, when he actually shot in the air to disperse the unruly cadres that were there at the time. But the time he came here at 9:50, he looked to be in a very jovial mood, and he actually spoke to the media, where he indicated that he was wondering why he's being questioned over this issue when it happened a long time ago. So these are questions that he posed to the media before he went inside for questioning. As I'm speaking right now, he's still being questioned by the police over the same incident. But in the process, we also saw Cosmas Msumali coming through, who happens to be the General Secretary of Socialist Party, just trying to speak to the media, where he alleged that this amounts to political persecution, and in some ways it amounts to some sort of victimization against the opposition. But in the process as well, other political parties also came, the likes of the Patriotic Front through Dr. Kambwili, Emmanuel Mwamba, who also echoed similar sentiment. But whilst journalists are keeping video at the situation just to try and find out how events are going to unfold, we also saw journalists being victimized in terms of them being pushed, being told to back off, to let the police do their job. But all these are issues that are relating to this incident, and we hope to see how things are going to unfold. But at the end of it, we'll also look forward to get a police statement from the Zambia police in terms of what really is transpiring from this incident.
They would like to take him to Kabwe so that he spends nights in Kabwe or Serenge. So there are those two options, and we are waiting. We are ready to escort him if that is implemented. Now, why would you get somebody into Kabwe or Serenge? The person that you have interrogated here and received from him a second statement over one issue. The answer is very simple. You want to make life as difficult as possible for that person. You want to exert high levels of cruelty to this individual. That's what this issue is all about. And we condemn it. We condemn it so severely because this is brutality. This is unacceptable in a democratic country. The police, unfortunately, have their hands tied. They are tied in the sense that these instructions are not coming from just the police command. These are coming from State House. Whatever happens to Freddie Membe, all the difficulties that is going through now, it's not just a police issue. It is HH at work. This is the HH Zambians voted for, and this is the HH that is destroying this country systematically and ensuring that all members of the opposition are made to suffer lamentably.
The place of the suspected place of crime, the police there had no powers. It's service headquarters that picked the leaders, locked them up, and in the night transported them either to Kasama, Chinzali, Lukulu, or Solwezi. Why doesn't the police in those areas of jurisdictions issue the call-out?
The whole thing is, you see, where I come from, they say, Muri seka seka, mutulali lalila. You see them, they are taking it like a plaything, eh? Mwabulo mwana mwabene mwamika mmotoka mutwale accident. Ushikuka accident mwaka fwa. Chikami vipila. Mukafiro kwikala mmaya ndomo muleikala. Hello, the way they speed nga bakusenda kali bali nsenda point.
Tukasama.
Ine chifungo no mbacha bakwati ni bedroom yani. 17 times. But in Shirila, but kwali baba lila, I was arrested, I was in prison. Kwati chaichi. Mweba mninani. Useka seka aleta liladila. One day, ababantu mulese ndalukulu, namwantuele kukasama, ba Fred mulefo kubatwala kusele, kukaba accident umwana wabe nakafashika mibipila. The blood of whoever would be involved in an accident, God forbid, will be on your hands. Muleke. And you see, when you see that the call out is, because an officer in charge of any police station and the CIO have the powers to summon a suspected, law breaker.
Thank you very much. So you are still watching the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV, and that is what is transpiring at IBEX police station. Now we have just received latest information where the Socialist Party Secretary General actually announces that Mr. Membe has been charged, has been slapped with a new charge. Let's have a look at this.
The Ranger. And this extra charge is the causing of bodily harm, that he did assault or he did cause a context, a situation that led to bodily harm of an individual. The information from the police is that this person who is that side did complain and reported to the police, and they felt the need to add this charge to the case that they have against Comrade Freddie Membe. And as a party, we are working on sureties to ensure that at least the procedure is followed and he can be released. So that's the new situation and the new information that we wanted to share with you.
Where did this happen, and where maybe if you'd help us with which individual?
So this individual is supposed to be one of the UPND cadres that actually attacked his entourage and attacked the Socialist Party members. And they are saying that Dr. Freddie Membe was involved in that. And the truth is, this is all rubbish. Complete rubbish, complete nonsense. Because Dr. Freddie Membe, from what we know, was in the vehicle. He never left the vehicle. And that charge is malicious. That charge is unacceptable. And it is a charge that's meant to discredit him, and nothing much more than that.
You are mentioning of sureties. Are you confirming that he has been officially arrested?
He has been officially charged, and the logical sequence is that when he's charged, they are talking of getting him arrested. So we are working on that with the lawyers now.
Welcome back. You're still watching Lunchtime Cafe, and we were just looking at that story that we're monitoring coming from Ibex police station, where Socialist Party leader Fred Membe has officially been charged. Makoko?
Yes. So the Secretary General says another charge has been added, and he has confirmed that particular charge to journalists that are on the ground at the Ibex police
station.
Yeah, so that is what is happening from there, and that brings us to the end of that particular segment where we were giving you stories that are happening right now from around the country, and we do appreciate Nelson for that particular update from Ibex police station. Now, I had a message that I've been looking for and I can't find it anywhere anymore. Somebody was saying, I can't wait for the baker to come.
Yeah. So they already know what's happening.
Yeah, it seems like people already know. Ryan Rita Berengo is following us. Thank you very much, Ryan. George Shiwe is also following us from Luansha town. Thank you very much, George. Mwemba Oswald is watching from Nampundwe town. Thank you very much, Mwemba Oswald. We really do appreciate. And this is the time that you have been waiting for. This goes to Eugene from Solwezi, who says you couldn't wait for this particular time. This is the time that you've been waiting for.
Absolutely. I mean, what's lunchtime without food? What's lunchtime without food? You know,
this is what I call lunch.
Yes, this is lunch. This is lunch. We're about to give you something scrumptious.
Tell us about the next item.
Yeah, you know, we have food. We have food on set with us, and we have a special guest. But I think the one thing about her, Makoko, is her story.
Okay.
She has an interesting story.
Sure.
This is a young lady who, you know, attained a good qualification and couldn't get a job. And she decided to think outside the box. Now, I won't preempt too much.
All right.
I'll let her tell her own story, and then we can get into the food.
Okay.
Yes, I can't wait to dig in.
Please, let's go to.
I'm sure people are wondering what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure.
They'll see in a minute. And guess what? The wonderful thing about all of this today is that you could be tasting what I'm talking about. You could be a lucky winner. So, you know, we've got numbers on the screen. Please get calling. Once you listen to the story that our guest is here to share, call in or text, or you can comment on our social media platforms. Let us know where you're watching us from, and you could be the lucky winner of our special prize today. But let's get into it. Let me just introduce our special guest, Baker Leniti Mwiza Lubobia. Thank you so much for joining us on Lunchtime Cafe. We are so glad you could come.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I know you came with some special things.
Yes.
some interesting, yummy things over here.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I think our guests would like to know, who is Leniti Mwiza Lubobia?
Okay, so Leniti Mwiza Lubobia is a lady from Lusaka, born and bred in Lusaka. And I completed my high school in 2012 at Chipembi Girls Secondary School in Chisamba. From there, I went to the University of Zambia, Unza, in 2014. Where I was pursuing a Bachelor of Arts with Education, major in History, and my minor was English. So after that, I graduated in 2019, but then couldn't find employment. So for a while, it was just being home, applying here and
Looking
there.
for a job.
Yes, and then my mom knits.
Okay.
Baby sweaters and whatnot. So I got interested because I wasn't doing anything at the moment. Yeah, so I started knitting house socks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've left them somewhere, but then I'll bring them.
So you've always been somebody who
loves working with my
her hands.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started knitting. The business was okay. I posted a few samples on Facebook, got a very good response, and then after that, the cold season ended.
Oh no.
So what next? Because it's becoming hot now and people can't wear warm socks in the hot season. Yeah. So I started looking for something to do, started searching on Facebook for different platforms, different skills that I could do with my hands, of course. And then I almost went into tailoring.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I really didn't have a passion for that. But then I've always loved cooking, I've always loved baking, so I asked a friend of mine to teach me how to cream cakes because I already knew how to bake. Like I would bake for home consumption and all that.
Okay.
So I asked a friend of mine, Grace Carissa Simaobi, because she's already a baker. We were together in high school. So she gave me one lesson. And from that one lesson, I posted on my Facebook page, my Facebook profile, and I received a very overwhelming response.
Wow.
And from then, that's how my baking journey started. That was February 2020. Yes. So from then, I've been baking and it's been overwhelming. Like I've received a lot of love, a lot of support from my friends and my family. So yeah.
And the public.
Is this sorry to come in, but is this something that somebody can do and survive on?
Yes, it is something that someone can do and survive on because it's a very profitable business. I'm sure you've seen how the business is growing and there are a lot of people who are learning how to bake now. It's a very good business because it makes you creative. It's innovative. So you can do a lot. You can do birthday cakes, you can do wedding cakes. There are people who just love cakes. They just want to want to have cakes. So
like how we can't wait to.
Exactly, for no occasion, absolutely. So it's diverse in those areas.
So you said that before you started baking, you attempted knitting. And you're doing house socks.
Yes, I was doing.
You said you had overwhelming response.
Yes.
Would you say that? Would you compare the two?
Baking is like everyday situation because everyone has a birthday every day. But for the house socks, it was seasonal because you only get to wear the warm socks like one in winter or maybe during the rain season. So it was kind of difficult because you only for the house socks it's a seasonal type of situation. But for the baking is every day because at least somewhere in Zambia or in Lusaka has a birthday every day. Yeah. Okay. So I feel the baking is better. And then for the knitting, it kind of takes a bit of time because I would need like maybe 2 or 3 days for me to finish a pair of socks.
Okay.
Yeah. But as of a cake, it just takes me maybe 5-6 hours and I'm done. And your cake is ready.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your clientele like? I know you mentioned that there are people that just like cakes. Almost every day they'll be eating cakes.
I've got a very diverse clientele. I have my friends, I have my family, and even strangers, people I've never met. I'll just be called, no, I tasted your cake at such and such an event. I would like a birthday cake. I want a wedding cake. I saw what you made for such a person. So yeah, it's like that. So I have people I've never met before. I've actually delivered as far as Nchelenge. Yes.
So a cake can be moved to.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can be moved to other towns. So I've sent cakes to Ndola. I've sent cakes to Luansha. I've sent cakes to Nchelenge. I've sent cakes for my grandfather in Livingstone. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If you are just joining us, we are talking to Leniti
Yes.
Leniti,
Yes.
who is a baker. She does cakes. And apart from cakes, what else do you do?
At the moment, I've concentrated on cakes because it's overwhelmed me. It's overwhelmed me. I don't have time to knit anymore. At some point, I used to do samosas and spring rolls, but because I'm the baker, I'm the delivery man, everything in my company at this point in time. So it's a bit overwhelming for me. So I've just concentrated on the baking for now.
I can be your delivery man. But anyways, we did tell our viewers that they will be winning something special. This is what we were talking about. We have a box of cupcakes. I wish I knew how to open this. I would have opened to show you. But we do have this box here. It's full of cupcakes. And we are going to be giving out these cakes to one of our viewers. So those of you that are watching us from home,
get calling.
You give us a call, and we will see if we can win these particular cupcakes. They look very, very beautiful. Actually, I wish I could open. So
what I'm getting from your story, Leniti, as you're showing us the cupcakes, is that you said you started when your friend helped you. She taught you how to cream the cakes.
Yes.
So there wasn't much capital needed. Because I know for somebody out there trying to start a business, capital is always an issue.
Okay, for me, the capital basically came in because it was my young sister's birthday.
Okay. On
the 25th of February. But then our baker did not pick up our calls that particular time. So I told mom to say, no, I can bake the cake. What I need is just probably the creaming and all. And so I think I slept on YouTube that night. Educating myself. Exactly. Learning how to go about it and all that, because I needed to nail this one. I mean, we're taking it to my young sister's school. So after that, the leftover ingredients are what basically I started even with the next cakes, the next I think 3 cakes that came about. So you can start small. You can start small. You can start with a 2 kg of flour, which I think is costing like 68 kwacha now. You can start with maybe 5 packets of milk, which is like 11 kwacha 15 gwe if you're getting it from ShopRite. And then
is that for one cake? If someone was thinking of baking their first cake, their very first cake, and they want to put it on Facebook, you said you put it on Facebook. They also want to put it on Facebook and get started with something small. What do they need to just get started with the one?
Basically, you need your ingredients. Yes, so you can get ingredients like from these chain stores, ShopRite, Pick and Pay, even your local shops like around your area. But then you need baking utensils. So you need things like baking tins. You need definitely an oven or a stove. At least you need a working oven. You need cake boards. You need scrapers. You need palette knives, just so you can get started. Yes. So it's in the beginning.
Can start small.
Yes, you can start small, but then it's quite costly when you're starting. I would say, because there are all these small things. When you add them up, they amount to a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, but then for me, what I used to do was
for things like, what did you call them? Scrapers?
Yes.
Cake boards?
Yeah.
What else did you say? Are those one-off, or do you have to buy them all the time you bake a cake?
No, those are one-off utensils, because you get to use them every other time, unless maybe they get damaged or and whatnot. But
those are things you can use over time.
Yes, like for me, I think I still have my palette knives from 2020. So I'm still using those even up to now. So that's the beauty with it. Basically, what we just buy almost all the time is the ingredients, because they have to be fresh all the time.
Things like your flour,
yes,
your milk.
For the utensils, those are like one-off things.
Okay. Now, you said something that caught my attention. You slept on YouTube. Before that particular cake, did you ever try baking?
Yes. junior secondary, I did home economics, grade 8 and 9. And then senior secondary, I went on to food and nutrition.
Okay.
So I had that background and I had interest in baking. So even at home, I would bake. I remember even at UNZA, I would bake cupcakes and then leave for, sometimes when I go to class, my roommates will sell on my behalf.
Okay.
Yes. And that's how I think the interest even grew, that even as I was starting this, I already had a certain background. Yeah, even when I was asking my friend to help me cream my first cake, I already knew what to do with the baking. What I wasn't confident and what I didn't know what to do was the creaming.
Have you ever been in class?
Baking class?
No. As a teacher?
Except for my teaching practice, no.
Okay.
Yes.
For how long did you stay without a job? Like just staying at home, watching your mom do everything?
I think that was almost a year.
Okay.
Yes, because I graduated from UNZA in 2019 March, and then I started baking in February of the following year. So basically a year. Yes.
Did you ever try applying for jobs in government or in private schools? How did it go?
I did. I used to leave home like at 8:30, 9 almost every single day, and only return probably after lunch, after dropping application letters. I would drop application letters around my area, Munali. So the surrounding schools around there I would take, and even online I would apply, but nothing was fruitful at the time. Yes.
Okay. So the decision really to abandon the chalk for the palette knife, when did you convince yourself that, look, I can make a life, I can do this apart from waiting for
I think I convinced myself after I bought myself my first car.
Oh, okay. From baking?
You got a car from baking.
Now tell me that story.
Yeah, so when I started, I would probably remove like I think 50 kwacha from every cake order I get, and then I bought this big coin box in one of these Chinese shops, and then I would.
Wait. When did you start baking?
I started baking in 2020 February.
So this is 3 years of baking.
This is 3 years of baking.
And you've already bought yourself a car.
Yes.
Mr. Kos, can we start baking?
And there are people that are still waiting to get it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought a coin box. At the time, I didn't even know what I wanted to achieve out of this. So it was, for me, it was just something to do to pass time as I continued applying. Even as I had started baking, I was still applying for jobs at the time. So I got a coin box. I would throw in 50 kwachas from every cake order I get, 100 kwachas, and it went on like that. And then at some point, I opened the coin box. And then I saw that I had made quite a bit of money. And then I bought my first mixer. My first stand mixer, because then I was just using a small domestic hand mixer. So I bought my first stand mixer, and then I continued saving. So I continued saving for a period of 1 year plus, I think, because I got my car last year in March.
And that was 2 years into your business?
Yes. So
wow.
So I continued saving, of course, with a lot of discipline, because sometimes you can't save. I mean, you pass through town, you see a nice pair of shoes, you want the shoe for yourself and all that. But then, yeah, discipline is what made me get that far. And then I have a very strict mother when it comes to savings. So she helped me. At some point, she actually even got all my savings and told me to say, every month, I'm expecting this amount of money from you. And that really helped me a lot. And by December 2021, yes, by December 2021, I had already ordered my car. Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Basically, I think it was just a discipline in saving, because except from that, I think it wouldn't have been possible. Yeah.
I think I'm getting a lot of from what you're saying. There's just discipline in the business.
Yes.
Discipline in savings.
Yes.
And also just being in a position where you were able to see that, okay, fine, I got my qualification, I haven't gotten my job, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, the country, Makoka, was gripped with a story recently of a young man who, you know, was disappointed and
climbed
all
the
that,
tower.
and climbed the tower.
Demanding for a job.
You know, there are many stories like that we've heard. You know, people, young people are frustrated, young people can't get jobs, so they decide to take drastic measures. And I like how you went back to your hands. You went back and said, what can I do with these hands that I have? And you were able to do, you started small, and today you bought yourself a car. As a young person, I can imagine even for a family, they can be able to take care of their family. Would you say this is something that, you know, someone can do to take care of a family?
Yes, it is, because like I said, anyway, it depends on your clientele as well. For me, I have different sizes and types of cakes that I make, which encompass, which accommodates rather almost everybody.
Everyone.
Yes, so someone can still get a cake from me even as low as 250 kwacha.
Okay.
Yes, because I feel not everybody rather can manage to get a cake that will cost 1,000 kwacha or 500 kwacha or 700 kwacha. So
you work within somebody's budget.
Yes, I work within somebody's budget. Even for, say, wedding cakes, somebody will come and tell me to say, I would want a wedding cake. My budget is this. I would tell them to say, I can be able to do this and this and this, and then we come to an understanding and it's done for me, so long as I'm able to make a profit out of what I'm going to do for them. Yes.
I have a message here which says, this is amazing. Whilst her peers are making noise about being unemployed, this young lady is doing something amazing, and good luck to her. That's Pumulo Lilongwe. And Stephanie Malupenga says, Jabiro Lubobia. I don't know what really that means, but Lubobia is your name, right?
Yes,
and
she
Jabiro
is my young sister.
Oh,
so she was tagging my young sister.
Oh, okay.
Then, your family is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are quite a number of them.
Yes, we've got Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan. Balengu is also watching, and he says wonderful stuff.
But I want
he's enjoying your story.
I want to pick it up from Pumulo's message, where she's saying, while the other people are making noise about unemployment, this person is doing something for herself. What would be your advice? Because there are people like you who are keeping degrees.
Yes.
And complaining always. You know, me, I'm a qualified person with a degree, and I still cannot find a job. So what would be a word of your advice to young people out there that do not have jobs?
My advice is to start with what you have. Set yourself for something that you love and enjoy doing. There's a lot of competition out there. Even in the baking industry, the industry is growing each and every day, and every other day people are learning how to bake rather. So my advice is to start with what you have, be determined, be focused, and put in your all, put in your 100%. I remember the time load shedding was at its peak. I never used to sleep. I would sleep, I think, 2 hours in a day, just so I could be able to deliver my products. Because you'd find power cuts at a certain point in time. I think that period there was no timetable, so it just used to cut randomly before the new timetable and everything. So it was difficult for me at the time because I didn't have enough resources to get a gas stove. At the time I was just starting, and then the load shedding hit, COVID hit as well. But I feel like because of my determination, because of my prayers, of course, God on my side, I managed to pull through, and here I am now. So my advice to my fellow youths out there is to start with what you have. Trust me, I think when I was starting out, I started with less than 500 kwacha, just for my young sister's birthday cake. But that 500 kwacha is not limited to one cake. When you're buying ingredients, obviously you can't buy 3 cups of flour, which you use for a particular cake. So that helped me to grow, and even for other people who tasted my cakes, they came back because they tasted my products and I was not compromising on my quality. Yes, so start with what you have and focus, determination, discipline is what would get you there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, 500 kwacha is somebody would opt to go and do their nails, go to the salon, and then go back home and complain that there's nothing they can do.
I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
How much money do you make? Would you buy a genset in a week?
On a good week, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She bought a car.
How much? I know that the dynamics have changed now.
Yes,
so I'm sure
they
that
have.
you can answer this question. How much did you make on your first cake? Not the Javido one, but the first commercial cake.
My first commercial cake, I think my auntie bought it at 500 kwacha. Then
profit.
The profit was, I think, like 100 kwacha or less.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because you'd already used.
Exactly.
Okay.
I had. So the profit margins are not really big. The secret in baking is bulk buying.
So how many cakes do you bake in a week?
On average, 15.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Where do you find the time?
I guess because you're doing it full time, I suppose.
Yes, I'm doing it full time for now.
That is your job.
Yes.
At the rate you are going, 15 cakes in a week, are you considering
employing someone?
To help?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am, because I'm getting very tired. My young sisters used to help me out, but now because they are in school, it's me and mom.
Nobody would help somebody baking 15 cakes in a week.
Well, I mean, the business is growing.
The business is growing. Yes.
I'm sure the next time we have you on the show, you'll be an employer.
Yes, I will.
From unemployed to employer. Yes. I suppose that's what we'll be looking at next. We've got more messages. We've got Pomolo again says, I'm following you from Namibia. Wow, this is beautiful. We have people watching from Namibia. Pomolo is saying, I'm hearing a young lady who is disciplined and focused, and she can be her peers' mentor. You know, I think there's a need for mentorship, you know, for young people. We have a lot of disgruntled and depressed young people who have gone to school because I think young people just believe, I get my qualification, get myself a great job immediately, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that once you get that qualification, you will land yourself the perfect, well-paying job right away. So
I'm very interested. If as we are seated here, you received a message that you've been picked for a job, would you?
To be honest, I think I would weigh my options. I would weigh my options.
You're not being truthful.
No, I'm being honest.
No. I think
would you close down the business and
no,
just
definitely not.
My issue is on the profits that she's making here. If she cannot go and get a job but continue baking, then she's not being honest with what she's making here.
I would, like I said, to be honest, I would weigh my options. If my job is going to give me more than what I'm getting from this, then yes.
We know what teachers are getting.
Exactly. So basically, you know why I'm still here.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I love one thing. I love the discipline.
I see growth though. I see. Yeah. Where do you see this business in 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'm seeing myself in a full-blown bakery. Yeah, with at least 3 or 4 assistants. Yeah, and
plus a delivery man.
Yes, please. A delivery truck and a delivery man. Yes, because it's stressful.
Which is highly likely to be me.
It's tiresome because I'll have to bake maybe 5 cakes in a day, and then after that I have to go and deliver those cakes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so definitely I need manpower. Yes.
Let's see if we can get a caller. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Okay, we
lost the caller.
That call.
Okay.
But,
you can call us back.
Yeah,
the numbers are still on your screen.
You can call us and get in touch with us and talk to us. We could just give you this box of cupcakes here. These
they look absolutely scrumptious.
Yes. Are these fruits?
Yes, those are fresh strawberries and blueberries.
So, is there a name for this cake? Is it a fruit cake? What do you call this kind of cake?
Basically, I think I don't think it's got a name. Or maybe it does.
Is it vanilla inside? What flavor is it inside?
The flavors that are inside is a vanilla, red velvet, and chocolate.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So
I struggled when I was thinking of what decor to put on the cake because I knew it was just for.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I just thought, okay, let me.
Do you want to cut it up when you tell us that? I'll just read a couple of messages. We've got some more messages here. We've got Rich Banks, and Rich wants to know.
Have a question.
Oh, we have a call.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, thank you.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Petronella, I'm calling you from Chongwe.
Petronella, how is Chongwe this afternoon?
Fine, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we do have Leniti in the studios with us. She is a baker. What do you have to say to her?
This is such an inspiration and so motivating. I'm just so happy that she's able to explain how she started her business. But I have some few questions for her.
Please.
Go ahead.
That's why she's here.
Okay. She talks about being helped by the mother also in the area of discipline, of saving the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but in a case where somebody doesn't have somebody who can motivate them, they're just on their own, and maybe they haven't even passed through school. Because for her to pass through school, I think school has also helped her, even in the way she's trying to connect words. And also, school has also helped her to find good customers and clients. So what can she do to somebody? How can she help somebody who has not passed through school and only have few ideas about cake? I think that's my question.
All right. Did we get your name?
Petronella.
Petronella. And you're calling us from?
Chongwe.
Petronella from Chongwe has a question for you. Leniti, do you want to?
Okay. So if you recall when I was talking about the savings, I said I started with a coin box. When I've noticed most of these groups, saving groups on Facebook, are advising people to be saving. So you can start with anything, be it a tin, sellotape it or whatever, close it shut, and keep throwing your monies in there. I still do that for my expenses. I still deduct like a 50 kwacha or so, like once in a while, just to have a savings on the side aside my main savings. So it's your determination at the end of the day and what you want. So basically you can even use a tin, you can use
so start small.
Yes, you can start small. If you remember, I said I was throwing my monies in a tin before I bought my first mixer. Mm-hmm. So that money that I kept on throwing in that tin is what got me my first big mixer. Mm-hmm. So my advice to such a one is you can start small. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be your mom or your auntie or your sister to help you save. It's just what you want to achieve at the end of the day. And then I've seen people who have been baking with charcoal ovens. I remember when load shedding came back, people introduced charcoal ovens.
Sure.
So even I believe in areas where you don't really have electricity and whatnot, you can still be able to bake those, what they call them, the scones. I've seen a lot of them in these shops around home where you just bake the plain scones. We've seen stories on Facebook where people would pass around in offices selling those. You can still start from somewhere. Yes, it doesn't have to be you to go to school, attain a certain level of education. It's the interest also, and what you want for yourself at the end. Yes, the determination. Yes.
Talking of determination and focus, someone says, you know, you're so focused, and with that attitude and discipline, they are saying you can still be employed as a teacher while your baking business is ongoing.
Yes.
Would you manage that, I wonder?
I can manage, but then I love to be hands-on with my business.
No. I mean,
baking and...
If you had a trusted accountant like your mom,
yes.
Would you bake cakes in the night, prepare your, what you call, lesson plans, and then also if during the day you're in class?
Yes, I think I would manage, because most of my cakes I deliver in the morning. So I bake my cakes at night. I probably sleep somewhere around 23. Yes. So I bake my cakes in the night, and then in the morning I wake up very early. I'm up by 6 hours.
We sleep at the same time, except me. I sleep after watching movies.
There's hardworking.
Yeah, so I bake in the night, and then I wake up to cream very early in the morning at 6, and by 9-10 hours my cakes are done and ready for dispatch. So I can manage. So maybe I would just have to probably adjust my timings. Yes.
I'm loving this.
We need to give out, people must taste it.
They need to taste this. They need to taste this. Look,
we need to give out the scones.
I tell you, these cakes are
I've tasted chocolate, and this is, you said this
vanilla.
is vanilla.
Yes.
Vanilla, there's red velvet.
Yes.
I need to go to red velvet now. So you can call us on the numbers that are on the screens if you want to get a piece of what we are eating right now.
We're also monitoring your comments. You never know, our winner could be coming from our social media. Please comment in, please send it. We have a caller. Let's take a caller. Hello, thank you. You're through to Lifetime Cafe.
Hello.
Hello, you're through to Lunchtime Cafe. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. We seem to have a problem with that line. Please call us back. Please call us back. The numbers are still on your screen. It would be nice to know who we're talking to there. Please call us back. So someone wants to know if you bake muffins or vikonda moyos, tumalia wekas. I suppose they tumalia weka probably is what we're having, Makoko. I don't know if you want to share. I think they mean, you know, once you taste this, there's no sharing.
Okay.
There's no. I definitely do not want to share.
Then I can confirm this is a tumalia. Tumalia weka?
Tumalia weka.
Yeah, I can confirm this is a tumalia weka.
So yes, she does bake tumalia wekas.
I know that we shouldn't keep her for a long time. She's a busy person who is baking a lot of cakes for her to get a car in 2 years. I think that she's baking. She's a busy person. But before we go, we have had a lot of messages that are talking about, that are praising you for your discipline. What do you attribute this to? Is it something that is in the family? What taught you to be this disciplined? How can somebody learn to be as disciplined?
I think it starts from my background.
Oh, okay.
I have a very strong charactered background, so to say. My aunties, my mother, yes. So it starts from there, and then I think even I personally, achieving what I want, knowing what I want, writing down my goals and telling myself I need to do this because it's for me at the end of the day. Nobody else will come and do it for me. My mother has taken me to school. She's done her part. So what is left is for me.
To you.
Yes. So I feel there's where I want to be. I remember growing up, I had an outline of how I wanted my life to play out, but God's plans are not always our plans. So I thought, okay, fine, grade 12 done. Unza, let's go. After Unza, my dream was to work. A degree is a degree. So I felt I could work in a bank or wherever I would have a good job. But then after 1 year of searching and all that, it demotivated me. But then I told myself, okay, let me see what this can do for me. I started with the socks. But as I said, it was seasonal. So I got into the cakes. I was doing the samosas on the side, but then it was overwhelming because it was me.
Just you.
Yes. So
your focus, your determination, brought you to where you are.
Brought me to where
Talking
I
of
am.
that, people are talking about that a lot. They're saying, look, you seem focused, you seem so determined, you know, your goals and values, they're just so impressed with that. Someone says, but she's a young person. What does she do for her social life and relaxation? You know? Because when young people watch you now, they're thinking, oh, this one, all she does is just work, work.
I
don't want to do
create
that.
time. I do create time for my social life. Like I told you, I usually love to finish my work by mid-morning.
Okay.
So I'm free mostly for the rest of the afternoon, except probably when I have 1 or 2 orders that popped in the morning and I have to deliver probably the same day. But then I do have a social life. I go out with my friends. I go for movies.
Okay.
Yes.
So you live just a normal life.
I live just a normal
life.
Like I feel the major thing is your time management.
Okay.
Because if you're not careful, you'll be baking and creaming the whole day.
Every day.
Yes, the whole day. So it's time management also. You create time for yourself. You create time to rest. But then sometimes I don't have orders like every day. Yeah. So like yesterday, I was watching Netflix the whole day. The whole day. So that's relaxation for me as well.
I hope.
Yes. I saw there was a funeral and
yes.
So for me, I also give time to myself. My Saturday is off because I'm Adventist, so I go to church. After church, I spend time with my friends, and for me, it's just like that. So it's just a normal life. As long as I manage my time, I have time for myself.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, we're going to continue monitoring all the messages that are coming in. We've got a lot of people watching us on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be checking those messages and also the calls that we've had, some calls dropped. And then maybe at the end of the show, we'll announce our lucky winner.
At the end of the show, we're going to announce the lucky winner who is going to be going away with this beautiful box of cupcakes.
You get to taste all this yumminess.
Yeah. But for now, we have to let Lenity go. Lenity, as you leave, what word of advice? What are in your concluding remarks?
In my conclusion, I would say start small. You don't have to have a capital of 5,000 kwacha. You don't have to have a capital of 10, 15,000 kwacha. Start with what you have. Look for what you love to do. I've seen stories of people who have started Salaola business with just as low as 100 kwacha. Just go pick out a few things, watch them, advertise, and that has grown. So start with what you have, start with something you love to do. At the end of the day, the motivation comes from your love of doing something. So if you love baking, I do lessons, by the way. So if you love baking, I'm open to teaching people how to bake. If you love making samosas or whatnot, I'm open to teaching that as well. And even knitting, I'm open to teaching people how to knit. I just forgot the socks in the car, I think. But yeah, maybe Nelly will show you as the show goes on. But be disciplined, be determined, be focused, and the sky is not the limit.
Also true. I love that. I love that. The sky is not the limit.
The limit.
Don't climb anything, please.
Sure.
Don't climb anything.
Thank you very much. That was Leniti, who was just telling us about her story, how she started baking and how she's doing from her baking business. So we take a short break, and when we come back, we continue with the program.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Camnet Lunchtime Cafe, and we were just talking to a very interesting entrepreneur, Leniti Lubovia, who was telling us her journey from the time she was in school and up to she graduated. from the University of Zambia, and she couldn't just sit and wait for a job. She decided to start doing a small business. Now, as we speak, she feels that she is even much better without. She sounded like she wouldn't want to get in.
No, I think she's okay. She sounded like she's okay. I mean, she looks like she has plans for her business.
Yeah.
You know, so there's growth coming in that business. Very encouraging and inspiring.
Sure. So moving on now, let's talk issues to do with governance. And we have been joined by the Community Action Against Political Violence, Mr. Bernard Uteka, who is here to talk to us about the UPND's 2 years in government, what as an organization they make over the last 2 years. Mr. Uteka, thank you very much for making it to Camnet TV. Welcome to this interview.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you.
First things first, the UPND has been in office for the past 2 years. What do you make of the UPND's reign so far?
Thank you, Makowa. So if we are to talk about the UPND being in office for the last 2 years, we need to judge them according to the promises that they had promised the people of Zambia. I think UPND came into government on the pretext of change. Yeah, there are quite a number of areas that people felt that we were not moving in the right direction. For example, issues to do with the, governance. I think people felt that there was a gap or a vacuum to do with the leadership where governance was concerned. I think issues of lawlessness was the order of the day. And so people felt that there was need to change. The leadership at that particular moment did not take decisive decision to do, for example, with issues to do with cadreism. And so we saw a number of, high-ranking, civil servants, even government officers being harassed by the so-called cadres. And so you see that people voted for UPND in order to improve the governance system of our country. And so the question is, what has happened in the last 2 years? I think that's what we need to frankly be speaking about. From our point of view, I think one of the key components that we saw that was lacking in the previous Patriotic Front government was the issue to do with taking a responsibility. I think that is where we had a problem. It's like there was no one who could take responsibility of what the cadres were doing. And so people felt that then we needed to change. And so we see now in the last 2 years that the president has been consistent in terms of talking about coexistence, issues to do with unity in diversity. And so we have seen that there's been a lot of improvement, tremendous improvement in as far as issues to do with the law and order is concerned. Suffice to say that you realize that in any society, there is always some more that will be there, regardless of what situation. There are people that still feel that maybe we need to revenge. There are those also that feel that no, we need to continue the, what used to happen. So we see some resistance in one form or another. I think it is the responsibility of the UPND leadership to ensure that whatever the leader is talking about, in this context, the president of the party, who is also the Republican president, talking about unity in diversity, we need to ensure that that sinks to the bottom of each and every individual. In the other area, UPND promised issues to do with free education. I think we have seen a situation that free education is being, given to citizens. Of course, suffice to say that it also comes with quite a number of challenges. One of the challenges is issues to do with school spaces. And so it is, of course, the duty and the responsibility of the current government to continue, building schools. Also to do with, for example, teachers. We saw last year 30,000 plus being recruited, which is a plus, and that should also continue. So in that context, we see them doing what is it that they promised the people of Zambia. The other point that we need to talk about, which is in the hearts of every individual or every Zambian, is the issue to do with the economy. I think putting food on our table becomes the primary source of every government. It is the responsibility of every government to ensure that people are satisfied. because they say that a hungry person is an angry person, or a hungry man is an angry man. That is true. And so we expect that the government to spend most of their time ensuring that they reduce the cost of living in as far as citizens are concerned, because that is the primary objective of governance. It's to ensure that citizens are able to be provided with conducive environment to trade. They are provided with the incentives. They are provided with the startup capitals. In this context, I think we can also give kudos to UPND in as far as issues of increasing CDF is concerned, because we realize that CDF, the fact that it goes in the people where people are concerned. And so the question that we need to always ask ourselves is that how has been the utilization of the CDF? Have people benefited on the ground? Because that has been some complaint of people having challenges in accessing CDF money, utilization becoming maybe less than 50% in some areas.
Before we get into detail of how CDF and how people are benefiting from CDF, I want to take you back to the issue of unity in diversity, as you put it. We did see, not long ago, a few days ago, former Republican president, the harassment of former Republican president by suspected, or is it UPND cadres? What do you make of this?
So thank you, Magoga. To begin with, we need to take it from the onset that I think cadreism is abhorred at every level, because cadreism brings a lot of challenges in as far as citizens' participation in governance is concerned. And that's where now things to do with the individuals or people calling politics as a dirty game comes in, because they feel that politics is where people have to insult each other. People have to trade blows with each other. People have to even destroy people's property. That we saw in the previous government. We have seen videos trending on social media in terms of what happened in Malambo, where the 60th Cameroon President, Mr. Edgar Chagwa went for the ceremony. I think we need to first of all start to have a candid conversation as citizens. Mr. Edgar Chagwa is not an ordinary citizen. He was the Republican president. The question that we need to ask ourselves is that did the PF leadership inform the current leadership of UPND about the movement of the current, the previous president? Because for us, we believe that if at all that communication was there, then I don't think that we could have seen such challenges happening, where the the former Republican president is being harassed. And so for us, I think it is an issue to do with the communication between the leadership of Patriotic Front and also the leadership of UPND. I think we need to reach a point that PF should realize that they are in an opposition position.
But wait, the former president was going to attend a traditional ceremony. Does he need to communicate this to the ruling party to say, I'm going to attend a traditional ceremony in Chipata or anywhere?
Critically. So, Magoka, you should appreciate and realize that the movement of the former head of state is not just the ordinary movement, because it attracts a lot of attention. And so if you don't inform people that are in government, you are bound to either, mishandle the former head of state, or he's bound not to receive recognition that is due. And so we have heard from the people that, we are on the ground that it's like the leadership of UPND from our, investigation of that. They were caught unaware about what was happening. But that does not, again, put it that cadres have the responsibility to attack whoever goes to attend the ceremony. We need to appreciate and understand, like I said in the beginning, that in any organization you find that there are some modes. I think it is the responsibility of UPND to really identify at this stage who really are for them and who are against them. Because you might be saying that they are UPND cadres. Maybe they are cadres that are masquerading to be UPND just to tarnish the image of the party. So I think it's the responsibility of the current leadership to ensure that they take responsibility in such cases. I think we saw what happened, that police came in and they moved the people that disturbed, and the former president was allowed to move in. I think next we need to see and hear statements about those people that caused the mayhem that particular time. They need to be brought to book, like the president said that when you commit a crime, you're on your own. I think that is the best position that we can take moving forward.
It's interesting, it's interesting that we're talking about Kadaism, 2 years into the UPND administration. And from what we're seeing right now, we've also seen Simon Mwewa lamenting that, he suspected cadres attacked him. Are we looking at a comeback? Is this a comeback of Kadaism? Because we've had so many of these, cases recently.
So from our point of view, I think, like I said from the beginning, that when people elect you to govern, they have given you the mandate and the responsibility to take over the affairs of the nation. So whatever happens, positive or negative, it comes back to you as leaders. So the responsibility of whatever happens at the moment currently, it's on the shoulder of the United Party for National Development, because they are the people, they are the party in government. And so the coming back of this cadreism in this way that we are seeing is not only unfortunate, but it is something that the leadership of UPND need to take decisive action. Because we saw one of the major reasons why PF was voted out of government. It was the issue of harassing innocent citizens in markets, in bus stops, and we saw people who felt they were more powerful. They were even branching machetes and guns, and even wearing uniforms that are not supposed to be worn by our military personnel. But we saw that situation. So I think at this point in time, it is important that the leadership of UPND in all areas takes responsibility. The president has said it, but the question is that the president is not the only sole purpose that he has to talk about cadres. There are people that are responsible in UPND leadership where issues to do with controlling cadres is concerned. So I think the onus is on the UPND leadership at all levels to ensure that, one, they take responsibility as the party in government, and that they will not have any excuse. Citizens will not, give them any excuse for not being, decisive in that. Then secondly, they also need to understand, politics is very interesting and funny, and no wonder sometimes people, as I said, they say it's a dirty game. You may not know also other people that are against UPND that would love to plant this mayhem of cadreism coming back. So that people are confused now to say it's like the former was better. I think I'm reminded of the time of the Egyptians in the Bible, where they encountered challenges, and so they told Moses that I think we were better off to go back in Egypt, because there we could even eat meat when they encountered the hunger before the Lord gave them manna. So we need to not to reach a point whereby people now saying the former is better than the latter. You understand the point. So I think it's all to do with the responsibility that leadership of UPND should take up the responsibility and should take decisive action in as far as cadreism and issues to do with the political violence in these areas is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the past few months, we have seen a number of arrests of political party leaders, and some sectors of society are saying the democratic space is shrinking under the UPND based on these arrests. What do you make of that?
So thank you very much. Like I said, I think when we talk about the issues to do with the one of the reasons UPND came into governance was the issue of shrinking democratic space. I think people felt that they were being harassed. We could see situations whereby media houses were being stormed without any protection. Journalists were being beaten without any protection. And at the end of the day, I think people started even hating their careers because they felt that my life is at risk. And so we need to differentiate issues to do with the, persecution and issues to do with the, for example, arresting an individual because of cases that they have committed or they are suspected to have committed in as far as issues to do with the proceeds of crime is concerned. And so the onus, first of all, is on the investigative wings. I think from the information that we have been hearing from the leadership of UPND, starting from the president, he has said that he has given these investigative wings the mandate to freely investigate, and they have no control or responsibility as to who they investigate. I think Zambians are looking forward to seeing situations whereby these cases that are being brought in the courts of law or being investigated, they are concluded. So I think we'll measure, the degree about the investigative wings and also the intention of the current government in as far as issues to do with bringing the process of crime is concerned. In one, by the number of people that are being prosecuted or those that are being sent to prison, and two, also it will be measured by the number of processes of crimes that they are bringing forth. I think just a few days ago, we heard you and I, the president announcing that they were able to retrieve some helicopters, 2 helicopters, with suspected with process of crime. So that information needs to be taken to the people of Zambia. They should understand what is it that the current government is bringing on the coffers in as far as process of crime is concerned, so that it does not necessarily, think like it's persecution. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the other option that we need to know is that individuals have to be mentioned. For example, these helicopters, who is it that they were linked to? Because when you just generalize like that, maybe it might think like people are being prosecuted. So you find that those that are guilty, they want to, pretend that nothing is happening. So maybe the law enforcement agency, if there's a way how these individuals can be mentioned, so that, citizens are well informed. And that also brings me to that issue of the issues to do with the, access to information bill. Because those are critical issues that you and I, as a media house, you should be able to know. When you go into these government departments, you should be able to know who the owners of this process of crime that have been retrieved are, so that you inform citizens in a manner that is fair, that is not partial, that is impartial. In that way, I think these innuendos of crimes being committed and people say that they are being prosecuted will be the thing of the past. That is, I think, our point of view.
As we come to the end of this interview, let's talk about some people. I heard this morning when at the IBEX police, where Socialist Party leader was being questioned. Somebody mentioned to say the UPND, actually Dr. Chimakambi said the UPND is using the archaic, what law is this, to bar other political parties from meeting and everything, but they cried the loudest when they were in the opposition about the Public Order Act.
I think our point of view would be that first of all, you realize that the president take a very bold decision, to remove from the law issues to do with the defamation of the president. To us as an organization, I think that was a very bold step and decision that the president took on, which should be commended by every genuine citizen who support democratic dispensation of our country. So that decision, it's not an easy decision, bearing in mind that you are the incumbent and you have the power. But he's like he sacrificed his life for the sake of moving forward. And so that shows leadership. Of course, we have seen and we have heard the issue of Dr. Fred Membe being questioned. It's in relation to, I think, the guns that were being blown during the by-election that took place some time ago. But as we say, we need to ensure and leave things to the law enforcement agencies to do their work, so that at the end of the day, genuinely, if an individual commits a crime, they have to be brought to book. It doesn't matter the period, it doesn't matter who is involved, they have to be brought to book. It's unfortunate that we don't see individuals that are non-partisan or individuals that are so-called not politically inclined when they are invited by the law enforcement. We see them to be very silent. But anytime a politician is invited, then it is persecution. And so we need to move from that phase whereby if politicians are invited for question, it should be an opportunity for them to clear their air. Like I say, what will happen or what will determine the persecution that is being talked about, it will be the manner in which the law enforcement agencies hand over these politicians. I think our point of view is that when a crime has been committed, the investigative wings have to move in, do their investigations, and when they bring somebody into book, they have to bring them with full evidence. They take to court, then the court makes a decision, so that at the end of the day, individuals are either punished for the case or for the offense they committed, or they are let free. Suffice to say that we have seen, I think even the issues of social media this time, we find that there has been a lot of I would say bush journalism by those of us citizens that feel that we can inform anyone. So I think it's also the responsibility amongst the individual citizens to ensure that whatever information that we post on social media, be it Facebook, be it wherever we post, it is verified at the end of the day, so that we don't cause panic, we don't cause unnecessary mayhem, or you don't cause anarchy, or we don't alarm the nation for things that are not there. And I think also it's the responsibility for journalists to ensure that they give us factual information, verified information from the people that are in government, so that at the end of the day, all of us, we live at peace with one another, like we say, unity in diversity. Because at the end of the day, we can differ in terms of political ideologies, but we need to safeguard that peace. We cherish that peace that we enjoy as a nation. Because once peace is not there in a country, you can't talk about development. You can't talk about any economic development. So we need to cherish this peace to the latter, that if it means sacrificing for it like our forefathers did, we need just to do that.
Mr. Muteka, would like to thank you very much for making an appearance on the Lunchtime Cafe.
Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate, and may God bless us. May God bless Zambia. Thank you.
We have been talking to Mr. Bernard Muteka, who is coming from the Community Action Against Political Violence, and he was talking to us their view as regards the UPND as 2 years in office. We take a short break, and when we come back, we will be concluding with the program.
Ingana babutuluka uwinge wo munankwatira sambe nani mwe ipishya ine ipishya abo mwikere nabo.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel music.
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the counter, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Lunchtime Cafe, and we need to go now. Our time is up. But before we do that, we did promise that we were going to be giving out some cupcakes to a lucky viewer, and Leniti is back to just help us with that particular process by identifying who will be the lucky viewer to go away with this box of cupcakes. Lubobia, I leave it up to you.
We've got a number of people.
But before, as she is going through the people that have communicated to us,
yes.
You did not tell us how people can get in touch with you and where you are found.
Okay, so I'm found in Minwood, Kwamwena Valley. That is near Mutumbi Cemetery, so down that side. And then you can contact me on 0764 33 44 04. And then my Facebook page is Lentis Cakes. So just Lentis Cakes, LENITY, Lentis Cakes. Instagram is also Lentis Cakes. Yes.
Okay. So I'll leave it up to you and Nelly to tell us who is going away with this beautiful box of cupcakes.
So maybe can we try a random caller now? Is it possible?
Nelly?
If we have a caller, we can take a quick call. Although we have to go. So we can also just go through our social media. We've got quite a number of people that have been following us from the time we started. We've got Cassie Colin Carla, she's in Australia. So sorry, Cassie, we can't send to Australia, can we now?
No.
So Cassie's from Australia. We've got Pumulo from Namibia. We've got some people from Lusaka. Jane Namugala from Lusaka. We've got who else? We've got Christine Mwale from Minwood. We've got Paul Mulenga from Pika. You did say you send cakes. So it's all up to you. We've got so many people. I can't go through all of them because we don't have time. We have to go. Who is your random pick?
Because we are in Lusaka and the cupcakes are already made. So we'll pick somebody from Lusaka.
So we'll give it to Jane Namugala?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Jane Namugala, if you're watching, we pick you. You did say where you're watching us from, which is Lusaka. So Jane, if you are still watching, we hope you're still watching because we see you're active on social media. So call the numbers, and then yes, we can arrange for you to come and pick up your lovely box of cupcakes. Well, it's been a great show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're inspired if you're a young person out there. And you have found yourself in a situation where you're unemployed and you're getting depressed, you're getting frustrated. You don't have to. There was a young lady on set with us today who told us her story, very encouraging. We also had Mr. Bernard Nteka, he was here, and we had our emerging stories as well, interesting stories.
Nelson. Yeah, he gave us an update from
Nelson gave us an update. Yes, there's a story going on at Ibex police station there. Where Socialist Party leader Fred Membe, was being interrogated. So yes, those and many stories are the stories that we brought to you today on the Lunchtime Cafe. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place. You can follow us on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, or on the numbers on the screen. You can send us messages. And yes, from me and my co-host, my Kokwa Kozi, it's bye-bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow.